Hello and welcome to this webinar on a beginner's guide on using Microsoft Forms. So let's jump straight in and let's bring up Microsoft Forms. And for this, we're just going to go through and show you a really quick and easy way of how to start using Microsoft Forms. Now, Microsoft Forms is an absolutely fantastic tool that you get free with the majority of your Microsoft licenses. So if you've got anything from Microsoft Business Standard upwards, then you'll get this as a free tool. It's absolutely fantastic for lots of different uses. You can either use it for internal use. Maybe you've got a staff barbecue or a staff dinner and you want to just quickly find out what everyone wants to eat and drink. You can really quickly create a digital form. The great thing is you send the link, the people can then do it in their time. And then when they submit it, it correlates all of the information. So there's no faffing about with you having to create a spreadsheet because this does it all for you. So it's a really, really great tool. You can also use it for external, whether it's quizzes on your website, as lead magnets, for example, or whether you're a new account form for customers. There's lots of different ways that you can use these digital forms. So if you don't know how to get there, literally office.com, go to your normal login. You'll see the top left, there's the little 9 squares. You'll press that, it probably says apps, and then all you do is you just select forms and then it will just take you straight in. So let's dive into how to do it. It's really, really easy. You get as many forms as you want as well. So don't worry if you get stuck or you do it wrong. It's really, really flexible. Now, first of all, you need to decide whether you want a form or a quiz. The main difference is that primarily a form is used to just collect information from surveys or registrations, while a quiz is much more designed to assess the knowledge, and it assigns points and gradings to different questions that allow you to get feedback on whether it's the correct or incorrect answers. So generally we would say use forms, but there is that quizzes option, which is pretty good. So you can select from different templates. So if we go new form, it would just take you straight into the basic style. Whereas you see over here on the left, you can select templates and there's lots of different ones depending on the type of form that you're trying to create. So lots of different templates that you can use. But for this example, we're just going to do a form from scratch, just so that I can show you the different types of questions that you can create. It's really, really easy. And as I say, this is the internal view where you can see where you can afterwards collect responses, etc. But let's go with this. So untitled form, let's say that we want to create a form to find out what our customers think of our service. So you could do customer service demo form, let's call that, and then you can also then do a bigger description so that when you email out it will come up with the title of the form, so whatever you've called it. Whereas you could do a description, and this is where you want to try and get as much information from the person. So you could do, this is a form so that we can try and improve our service. Please answer the questions as honestly and in depth as possible, as an example. So you've got, that's your description bit, and you can also add a picture as the background as well. So you can go for a straightforward quick question on here, or you can actually use the question suggestions. We're going to go with a quick question. Now, as soon as you click that, it's going to give you the different types of questions. So you've got your standard choice. So again, multiple choice, a text rating. So if you want someone to give you a 5-star rating, for example, you've got dates, ranking. So this is a really good one because this will show you, you can do say 3 or 4 different statements and then the person can rank them in order. So it might be, please rank your favorite colors, and then you do red, blue, orange and green, and then they can actually slide it to say which is their favorite. So but let's go for these are called like averts. So you can do the question, and then in the options, again, it's so flexible. For example, it might be, um, you know, how happy are you with? And again, you'll see that it keeps pushing up different examples. So then on here, you could do um, very unhappy, somewhat unhappy. You see how it takes what you're typing and then it will offer you potential answers. So you see how it's really, really quick just to put those in, but you can change them to whatever you want. And then you do overall customer service, ease of contacting us, as an example. So then people can then select which one they want. So you can just add as many statements as you want. So you could have lots or a few. It really depends on how you're going to use the form. We've also seen these in recruitment. So you might want to have quite a few detailed questions if you really want to know that applicant. And then as you're building out your form, you'll then want to say whether it's required or not. So, because with the forms, you'll have lots of questions on there, or maybe just a few. So you want to make sure that they're either required or not. Because if they are required, they have to fill them in before they go to the next one or submit the form. Whereas if it's a non-required, they could skip that question. So an example might be that you definitely want the person's name and email address, but you don't mind if they do or don't enter their company name. So then you go add a question, and again, similar to this. So if we went with choice, then you can see how it enables you to do multiple choice questions. So this is one of the most popular and the easy. So for example, if we switch to asking someone either a yes, no, maybe. So do you live in the UK, as an example? You see already it's offering you these. So you can just type in yes, no, but then also if you wanted to add another option, so you just click it, nice and easy, super flexible. So you can then do um, planning to move to the UK, for example. Now, you see these little arrows, you can move these up and down as well. It's really, really flexible, makes it super easy. You can allow multiple answers, so nice and easy, you can slide it. And then you can even select how many multiple answers you want them to have. So, and then if it's required or not. Now, there are these dots on all of the different types of questions that you can create, and you can just click in there and then you can just see different ones. Again, branching means that you'll have effectively main and then questions underneath the main question. So you can do subtitles, and you can also shuffle the options as well. If you want different questions in random patterns, then you can also do that. So for example, on here, the options, often it's easier to just do it as the norm. People know that you've got a yes, no, and a maybe. So it's really, really simple. Then you can add another question. For example, you might do a ratings one. So this one, nice and easy, different stars. You can even change the number of stars. So if you wanted 9, for example, and you can have different symbols as well, depending on, how much do you love our service? Do you love our service? And then you can have different heart ratings again if it's required, and you can also do different labels and things. So really, really simple. So you've just got some nice different questions. What you can also do, depending on the type of form and who you're sending it to, you can add different sections. So you might have section 1 is titled is happiness with our service, but then option title 2 might be how can we improve? And then you can do a question under there that might be text. So the text ones are quite nice to have at the end, especially when you want, say, additional comments and things. So, but this one might be, how can we improve? What do you like most about our service? And then a long answer means that you give them a longer text box. And again, it could be required, but then you could then do add a text, and then it's what do you like least about our service, for example. So there's lots of different ways that you can do it. And then once you've then got your different questions, you can actually see on these dots here, if you wanted to, you can grab that and then actually change the rotation of them. But with these different sections, you'll find that that's a different page. So if we've started to build out our question, so we can then go to preview, and you'll see now that section 1 is on the first page. So you can see how it's all done. You can change these backgrounds as well, and you can also click this mobile and see what it looks like on a mobile phone, because often people will actually use a mobile phone for doing the forms. So this is the nice thing, it's completely flexible, but for this demo I'll keep it on the computer. So, do you live in the UK? Yes. How happy are you with overall customer service? Very happy, and ease of contacting us, somewhat happy for argument's sake. And how much do you love our service? You do that, and then you can click next, and then it goes to the next questions, and then you can have submit. You see, nice and easy. And this is literally how the person would see it. But for example, what you might want to do is add in some additional details. So we've got the sections here where you can remove. You can also then add in different responses. So with the different responses, this is where we've got the settings tab up the top, so the button. So we click settings. You can then say if anyone can respond or only people within your company can respond. You can also then do option responses with dates. And again, if you wanted to shuffle over all the questions, and then allow receipt of responses after submission and get an email notification of each submission. So this is a good one. So you can select that to say that every time someone completes it, but you can also then select whether it's a group email address or different people. You can start typing in their name, and then they will be able to, they'll receive the responses as well. So for example, you might do this, but you're doing it on behalf of your marketing company. You might want to put in the marketing company's email address to receive the responses. So there's lots of different ways that you can really change the settings on the form. It's just super flexible. And again, you can ask different things. If you want the person's name, if you want their email address, then you can request all of those. There's other settings around style and colors and things. I don't want to go too much into that now, but you could even put background music on. So it is really flexible on how you make it look. You see how the templates can change. But the nice thing is you can play around with it, and then you can always just put it back to standard. It's however you want, but it's a really nice, easy, flexible tool. And then you can also change it. Now, the final part is when you collect responses. So if you select, this will also save as you go along. You see up here where it's automatically saved it. So once you're happy with all the questions that you've got on the form and the order and how they're going to work, super easy. You click collect responses. Now, this is when you can then select if anyone can respond, or just your company, or just specific people within the business. So you've got here where you can actually directly put the names in, and it will come through, and it will then directly say, please, fill in this, and then you'll see how they even get a start now button. You can directly do it whether you get responses via Outlook, or you can actually send the messages directly into Teams as well. So if you are doing it as an internal form, you might do it the Teams route. And then finally, to get responses, you've got the full URL here, or you can actually do a shortened URL. Now, this link here is what you would use if you were going to send it to someone else, or potentially you wanted a link on your within an email or on your website where you want people to fill this in, then you can just copy the link, create the button however you want, and then just have this added in. So it's really, really flexible on how you can do it. So you've got the link there that you can just click to copy, or you can shorten it. Then the other thing on here, if you did want to, for example, have a QR code, so you can get this created, you can then print this or you can email it to people. They can then scan it with their mobile phone. And then this final part, this is the code for if you want to put it into a web page. So for example, if you wanted this in your web page built and looking like that, then nice and easy, you've got the coding for it. So you can click copy. You can always then just give this to your web developer, or obviously do it yourself. So yeah, there's lots of different ways of doing it, but that's it. That's how simple Microsoft Forms is. So it's really easy. As I say, unlimited, and it comes with your Microsoft package. So if you've got any questions, please don't hesitate to let us know.